Alrighty, so we have moved on to J5, and we are going to be putting together the things that we learned from J3 and 4 into this particular skill that we're practicing. Now, it does say we're solving advanced linear equations. That just means we're going to see it in all different types of forms, but our processes are going to remain the same. Now, here we have -3 is equal to g plus 3 divided by 3. Now before, when we did not have the fraction bar going all the way across, we would have subtracted 3 first and then multiplied by 3. But because we have g plus 3 being divided by 3, that means whatever this was or is, the whole thing was divided by 3. So what we're going to do first is we are going to I just broke my pen, my favorite pen. That's not good. We'll see if it works. We're going to multiply by 3. See, guys, it's crooked now. We're going to multiply by 3 on both sides of the equation. So that gives us 3 times -3 is -9. And that gives us g plus 3 times 3, but we're going to divide this 3 by 3. So that eliminates that 3, or actually it reduces it to 1. So now we have -9 equals g plus 3. So now we just go to what we know. We know we need to get rid of the 3 to isolate this g, or to get it alone. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. And we're left with g is equal to, these guys are on the same team, so we're going to add them together, -12. Number 2, this one, we have the distributive property that we have to work with. So first things first is we're going to distribute, then we'll solve. So -3 multiplied by y is -3y. I just did this. -3 multiplied by -5 is positive 15, and that equals -6. So again, we want to isolate y, so we're going to begin with subtracting 15 from both sides of the equation, or both sides of the equal sign. So we have -3y, 15 minus 15 eliminates, and we have -6 minus 15. They're on the same team, so we're going to add them together. Gives us -21. We're going to divide by -3 on both sides of the equation. -3 divided by -3 is positive 1. So -3y divided by -3 is positive y. -21 divided by 3 is positive 7. Number 3, we have 17m minus 15m equals 8. Now this one, unlike the other two, is we're going to combine like terms first. So 17m minus 15m is 2m. And 2m, some number multiplied by 2 gives us 8. So the inverse operation would be to divide both sides of the equation by 2. 2m divided by 2 leaves us with 1m, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Number 4, we have 2y minus y plus 5 equals 18. So on this one we have not just a combining of like terms, but we're going to have the combining of like terms, which happen to be algebraic. We have a numeric term and a numeric term. So 2y minus y gives us y, plus 5 equals 18. We're going to now subtract 5 from both sides of the equation. Our additive inverse pair gives us 0. So we're left with y is equal to 18 minus 5, which is 13. Number 5, we have got 4z minus 2z equals 14. Again, we're going to combine like terms right here. We have the same variable raised to the same power. So 4z's minus 2z's gives us 2z equals 14. We're going to apply the division property of equality. That's a new term you haven't heard. It just means what you do to one side, you do to the other. 2z divided by 2 leaves us with 1z. 14 divided by 2 leaves us with 7. So z is 7. So now let's look at number 6. And we have 6 is equal to negative 3 multiplied by n plus 4. This requires that we use a distributive property. Now, I'm going to show you two ways that you could do this. You just have to remember when it works. So I could go ahead and distribute. So I've got 6 is equal to negative 3n. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Then I would add 12 to both sides of the equation. And that leaves me with negative 3n equals 18. And I'm going to divide by negative 3 on both sides of the equation. Negative 3n divided by negative 3 leaves me with positive 1n. 18 divided by 3 leaves me with negative 6. Now the other way that you could do this, and I just noticed it because this is negative 3, and we know that negative 3 is a factor of 6. So that means I could divide and all of this would turn out even. So I'm going to put an or here. 6 equals negative 3 and n plus 4, excuse me. So I could divide this whole side by negative 3. And if I do that, negative 3 divided by negative 3 reduces to 1. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. And that equals n plus 4. Well, then I could subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. And that leaves me with n is equal to negative 6. So I got the same answer. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as whatever you're trying to divide will divide into the other side of the equal sign evenly. So for number 7, we've got 2 multiplied by v minus 6 equals 10. I'm going to do the or over here as well. 2v minus 6 equals 10. Here I'm going to distribute. So 2 times v is 2v. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12 equals 10. I'm going to add 12 to both sides of the equation. So I have 2v is equal to 10 plus 12 is 22. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides of the equation. 2v divided by 2 gives us v. 22 divided by 2 gives us 11. Now, over here I know that 2 is a factor of 10. So I could divide by 2 on both sides of the equation. 2 divided by 2 is 1. That leaves me with v minus 6 equals 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then I can add 6 to both sides of the equation. Therefore, v must equal 11. Let's move on to number 8. We've got 4w plus negative 15w equals 11. And again, remember, adding a negative is the same as subtracting. So positive 4 minus 15, who has the advantage? Well, it's 15 and it's negative, so we know this will be a negative number. And 15 has the advantage by 11, so that would be 11w. We're going to divide by negative 11 on both sides of the equation. Therefore, w would equal negative 1. Number 9, we've got g plus 2 divided by 3 equals 4. Now remember, this goes all the way across, so I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides of the equation. And if it helps you, you can put parentheses around that part that doesn't need the multiplication. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And that leaves us with g plus 2 is equal to 12. We're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. Therefore, g would have to be 10. Let's look at number 10 here. We've got 19s minus 16s plus 5 equals 8. We're going to combine like terms right here. 19 minus 16 is 3s plus 5 equals 8. We're going to create our additive inverse pairs by adding the opposite of what we see. So positive 5 minus 5 is 0. We're left with 3s is equal to 8 minus 5, which is 3. We're going to divide both sides of the equation by 3. Therefore, s is equal to 1. Number 11 is 3. U minus 4 equals 9. And on this one, you could distribute. So 3 times u is 3u. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 equals 9. I'm going to create my additive inverse pair by using the opposite or inverse operation. So I have 3u is equal to 21. We're going to divide by 3 on both sides of the equation. Therefore, u would be equal to 7. Or you could have done 3 u minus 4 equal 9. Divide by 3 on both sides of the equation. That would have left you with u minus 4 is equal to 9 divided by 3 is 3. Add 4 to both sides of the equation. Therefore, u is equal to 7. We're going to continue on my next page. We've got 9 minus s equals 3. Now this is different from everything that you've seen. So I'm again going to show you 2 ways to do this. We always started with adding or subtracting the constant, meaning the number that didn't have a variable attached to it. We can still do that. So this is a positive 9. I could subtract 9 from both sides of the equation. And that leaves me with negative s equals, well, 9 has the advantage by 6 and 9 is negative, so that would be negative 6. But the question doesn't ask me to solve for negative s. It asks me to solve for positive s. So remember that in front of every variable that doesn't have a coefficient greater than 1, the coefficient is 1. So I have negative 1s. And if I want s to be positive, I know that a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive. So negative 1s divided by negative 1 will give me positive s. Negative 6 divided by negative 1 gives me positive 6. The other way that you could complete this would be to move the s instead. So to make the s positive, I could add s to both sides of the equation. So that would leave me with 9. I eliminated the s by applying opposite operations or inverse operations. And over on the right side of the equal sign, I now have 3 plus s. Remember, these are not like terms, so I can't combine them. But now that I have the s over here and it's positive, I can subtract 3 from both sides of the equation, and that leaves me with s equals 9 minus 3, which is 6. So either way is fine. If you prefer to make the variable positive first, do that. If you feel okay dividing by negative numbers, do that. Whichever works for your brain, that's what you do. So we have our next one, which is number 12. That was number 11. Number 12 says 2 times y plus negative 2 is equal to 6. We know this is really 2 multiplied by the quantity of y minus 2 equals 6. So I can distribute 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 2 is, or 2 times negative 2, excuse me, is negative 4 equals 6. I'm going to add 4 to both sides of the equation. I have 2y is equal to 10. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides of the equation, and that gives me y is equal to 5. Or, if you prefer the other way, I know that 2 is a factor of 6, meaning that 2 divides into 6 evenly. So I could go ahead and divide by 2, and that would give me y plus negative 2 equals 3. And I know that that really is y minus 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides of the equation, and that gives me y is equal to 5. And then we have number 13. This is 3 is equal to 3 multiplied by the quantity of b plus 9 plus negative 3. Oh, they're really, taking it up for us. So on this one, we've got multiplication going on, and we've got adding of a negative or subtraction. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take care of the adding and subtracting first. So I'm just going to rewrite this without all these symbols. So 3 is equal to 3 multiplied by the quantity of b plus 9 minus 3. So now I know I can add 3 to both sides of the equation. And that leaves me with 6 is equal to 3 times b plus 9. Now you can distribute or you can divide. So I'm just going to go ahead and divide on this one. Divide by 3, divide by 3. That gives me 2 equals b plus 9. And then I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides of the equation. And that gives me b is equal to, well, 9 has the advantage and it's negative, and it has the advantage by 7. So my answer would be negative 7 equals b. Now with this one, because there was so much going on, I would like to go ahead and check it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to substitute b, I said, is negative 7. So I'm going to put in negative 7 right here where b is. Plus 9. And then I'm just going to leave this as minus 3. So now I'm going to do order of operations. I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. So negative 7 plus 9 is positive 2. Minus 3. And then I have 3, and I know I'm going to do multiplication first, which is 3 times 2 is 6 minus 3. Well, I have 3 over here. 6 minus 3 is 3, so that checks out. Now, you'll know if you're wrong because these two sides won't equal each other. That's how you know when you're wrong. All right, we're done with this. I hope you go on and attempt something like this. Solving equations will never go away. It's at the basis of everything that we do. So I would like you to go ahead and give it a try. I know you can do it. All right, talk to you later. Bye.